Hello dear students, myself CMA Padmaja Bajruk. I will discuss accounting standards. Go to study note number 5, accounting standards. I will discuss AS16. AS16 is on borrowing cost. Borrowing cost are interest and other costs incurred by an enterprise in connection with borrowing of funds. A qualifying asset is an asset that necessarily takes substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use or sale. Example of qualifying assets are any tangible fixed assets, any intangible asset, investment property, and inventories. In case of any tangible fixed assets which are in construction process or acquired tangible fixed assets which are not ready for use or resale, such as plant and machinery, any intangible assets which are in development phase or acquired but not ready for use or resale, such as patent. In case of inventories that require substantial period of time to bring them to sellable condition, this is generally more than one accounting period. So all these are examples of qualifying assets which take substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use or sale. AS16 is applied in accounting for borrowing cost which include, so as per AS16 following 5 are borrowing cost. First is interest and commitment charges on bank borrowing and other short-term borrowings. Second is amortization of discount premium relating to borrowing. This is applicable in case of debentures. When debentures are issued at discount and when debentures are redeemable at premium, it is necessary to write off this discount and premium, that is amortization. Amortization of ancillary cost incurred in connection with arrangement of borrowing. For arrangement of borrowing, that is arrangement of loan, sometimes legal fees, chartered accountants fees, agents commission, brokerage are paid and these are known as ancillary cost. These are amortized. Finance charge for asset acquired under finance lease or other similar arrangement. Exchange difference in foreign currency borrowing to the extent it relates to interest element. Borrowing cost incurred on asset which takes substantial period is treated as cost of that asset in respect of one above. To be treated as cost of that asset, that means it is to be added to the cost of the asset, that is it is to be capitalized. In case of one above, that is nothing but interest and commitment charges on bank borrowing and other short-term borrowings. As per guidance note on audit and miscellaneous expenditure issued by ICAI, deferment for amortization cost up to the time the asset is put to use in respect of 2 and 3 should be capitalized. So in case of 2 and 3, that is amortization of discount and premium and amortization of ancillary cost till the time the asset is put to use is to be capitalized. Finance charge as in case of 4 can be capitalized up to the time the asset is put to use. Conditions for capitalization of borrowing cost. Following are the conditions for capitalization of borrowing costs. Only directly attributable costs are to be capitalized. The qualifying asset will render future economic benefit to the enterprise and cost can be measured reliably. If these three conditions are satisfied, then the borrowing costs can be capitalized. Directly attributable costs are those costs which can be identified with the qualifying asset. Directly attributable costs for acquisition, construction, or production of qualifying asset are eligible for capitalization. Directly attributable costs are those costs that would have been avoided if the expenditure on qualifying asset have not been made. Qualifying asset will render future economic benefit to the enterprise and the cost can be measured reliably. Amount of borrowing cost eligible for capitalization. Amount of borrowing cost eligible for capitalization is equal to actual borrowing cost incurred during the period less any income generated on the temporary investment of amount borrowed. If the amount borrowed is temporarily invested somewhere else, and if any income is received on that, that is interest, dividend, etc., it is to be deducted from actual borrowing cost, and the net figure is eligible for capitalization. Commencement of capitalization of borrowing cost. Following three conditions must be fulfilled before commencement of capitalization of borrowing cost. Activities which are essential to prepare the asset for its intended use should be in progress. Borrowing cost is incurred. Expenditure for acquisition, construction, or production of a qualifying asset is being incurred. If all the three conditions are fulfilled, then and then only commencement of capitalization of borrowing cost is allowed. All other borrowing costs are charged to profit and loss account. A16 establishes a key test for capitalization which states that borrowing costs that are directly attributable to the acquisition, construction, or production of a qualifying asset are those costs that would have been avoided if the expenditure on the qualifying asset had not been made. So only directly attributable costs of qualifying asset are to be capitalized. All other costs are to be charged to profit and loss account. Accounting treatment of borrowing cost as per A16. Borrowing costs should either be capitalized or charged to profit and loss account depending on the situation, but deferment is not permitted. Borrowing costs are capitalized as part of cost of qualifying asset when it is probable that they will result in future economic benefit and cost can be measured reliably. Other borrowing costs are charged to profit and loss account in accounting period in which they are incurred. Capitalization on one hand reflects closely the total investment in the asset and on the other hand to charge the cost to future period against accrual of revenue. Notional interest costs are not allowed to be capitalized. Notional interest is the interest which is not real interest, which is fictitious. A qualifying asset is an asset that necessarily takes a substantial period of time, usually a period of 12 months, unless otherwise justified on the basis of facts and circumstances to get ready for its intended use or sale. So qualifying asset is an asset which takes substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use or sale. This substantial period can be 12 months, but if it is justified on the basis of facts and circumstances, then it can be lesser than 12 months or more than 12 months. Capitalization should be suspended, that is temporarily stopped during extended period in which active development is interrupted. So if there is interruptions in active development, if development is stopped for some time, then capitalization can also be temporarily suspended, that is stopped. Capitalization should cease, that is stop, when substantially all the activities necessary to prepare the qualifying asset for its intended use or sale are complete. Capitalization also ceases when part is completed which is capable of being used independently of the whole. Now supposing if one part is complete, it can be independently capable of, you can use it independently. It is not dependent on other parts to get completed, then for that particular part capitalization ceases. Disclosure under AS16 accounting policy adopted, amount of borrowing cost capitalized during the accounting period. We'll see illustration 9. Calculate value of qualifying asset from the following particulars as presented by X Limited. X Limited incurred 25 lakh to construct a factory premises which was ready for use on 31st December 13. It used the funds from working capital facility given by commercial bank on which interest was payable at 12% per annum. It was found during the period of construction the average balance of loan for working capital had never fallen below 30 lakhs. The expenditure which were incurred during the period from July 13 to December 13 are. So they have incurred 3 lakhs in July, 4 lakhs in August, 6 lakhs in September, 5 lakhs in October, 4 lakhs in November, 3 lakhs in December, total 25 lakhs for construction of factory premises. For that, working capital facility of loan from commercial bank is taken at the rate of 12% interest per annum. You are supposed to calculate the value of qualifying asset. Now see, we'll assume that they have incurred this expenditure at the end of the month. So supposing if they have incurred at the end of July 3 lakhs, no interest will be charged in July. But in the month of August, whatever is outstanding at the end of July, on that interest will be charged. So on 3 lakhs at 1% per month, 12% per annum is 1% per month. On 3 lakh at 1% is 3000. Then cumulative expenditure will be 3 lakh plus 4 lakh plus 3 lakh, which is 7 lakh 3000 at the end of August. So in September, on this balance interest will be charged, which is 7030. Again, keep adding expenditure incurred plus interest, you will get cumulative expenditure. On that, calculate interest. Repeat the procedure till the end of the month. 13,100 is the interest, then 18,231, and then 22,414. Total interest is 63,775. These total interest is to be capitalized, that is, it is to be added to the cost of the asset. So value of qualifying asset is 25 lakhs plus 63,775, which is equal to 25 lakhs 63,775. Now we'll go to illustration 11. M Limited has obtained an institutional loan of 680 lakhs for modernization and renovation of plant and machinery. Plant and machinery acquired under modernization scheme and installation completed on 31st March 13 amounted to 520 lakhs. 30 lakhs has been advanced to suppliers for additional asset, and the balance loan of 130 lakh has been utilized for working capital purpose. Total interest paid for the above loan amounted to 68 lakhs during 12-13. You are required to state how the interest on institutional loan is to be accounted for in the year 12-13. Total institution loan taken was 680 lakhs and total interest paid on the loan was 68 lakhs. Now out of this 680 lakhs loan, 520 was used for acquiring plant and machinery, 30 was used as advance for which is given to supplier for additional asset, and 130 has been utilized for working capital purpose. So 520 plus 30 plus 130 is 680. So that is how 680 lakhs has been used. 520 lakhs for plant and machinery. So interest on 520 lakhs is to be capitalized. On 680 lakhs, interest is 68 lakhs. On 520 lakhs, interest will be 52. 52 interest is to be capitalized, that is, it is to be added to cost of the asset, which is 520 lakhs. 30 lakhs has been given as advance to supplier for additional assets. So interest on 30 lakhs will be 3 lakhs, which is to be considered as capital work in progress. Once the asset is purchased, it can be capitalized, and the interest on 130 lakhs, which will be 13 lakhs, is to be charged to profit and loss account because it is revenue in nature, because it is utilized for working capital purpose. We'll see the solution. Interest on borrowed capital which are used for the purpose of acquisition, construction of fixed asset during the period up to the completion stage or acquisition should be added to gross book value of concerned fixed asset. As such, the institutional loan amounting to 520 lakh together with interest 52 lakhs should be added to gross book value of fixed asset. But advance to supplier for additional asset amounting to 30 lakh together with interest of 3 lakh may be treated as capital work in progress and the same should be capitalized at a subsequent date. Similarly, loan taken for working capital purpose amounting to rupees 130 lakhs and interest on 813 lakhs should be charged against current year's profit and loss account. Now we'll see illustration 13. G Limited purchased machinery from P Limited on 30 September 12. The price was 370.44 lakhs. After charging 8% sales tax and giving a trade discount of 2% on quoted price, transport charges were 0.25% on quoted price and installation charges came to 1% on quoted price. So transport charges and installation charges are given as a percentage of quoted price. So it is necessary to find out quoted price. Price is given, which is after charging sales tax and giving trade discount. So from quoted price, if you deduct trade discount and add sales tax, you will get 370.44. You have to work backwards and find out quoted price, and on that work out these percentages to find out transport charges and installation charges. A loan of 300 lakh was taken from bank on which interest at 15% per annum was to be paid. Expenditure incurred on trial run was material 35,000, wages 25,000 and overhead 15,000. Expenditure incurred on trial run is to be capitalized. Machinery was ready for use on 1st December 12. It was purchased on 30 September 12 and it was ready for use on 1st December 12. So October and November 2 months interest is to be capitalized, that is added to cost of machine. However, it was actually put to use only on 1st May 13. Find out the cost of machine and suggest the accounting treatment for expense incurred in the interval between 1st December 12 to 1st May 30. So during this period, whatever is the interest is to be debited to profit and loss account as expenditure. It is revenue in nature. The entire loan amount remain unpaid on 1/5/30. Now we'll see the solution as per para 6 AS16. Borrowing costs that are directly attributable to the acquisition, construction or production of a qualifying asset should be capitalized as part of the cost of that asset. Other borrowing costs should be recognized as an expense in the period in which they are incurred. The total cost of machine is calculated as quoted price 350 rupees are in lakhs. Quoted price is to be calculated in this manner: 370.44 is the price into 100 divided by 108 because 8% sales tax is added, into 100 divided by 98 because 2% trade discount is deducted. Quoted price is 350. Trade discount is 2% of 350 which is to be deducted. Net figure after deducting trade discount is 343. Sales tax is 8% on 343 which is 27.44. Trade discount is to be added. Transportation cost and installation charges are given as a percentage of quoted price. That is the reason why we have calculated quoted price. After deducting trade discount and sales tax, we arrived at 370.44 which is given. But just as transportation and installation charges are to be calculated on quoted price, we first calculated quoted price by working backwards. Now add transportation cost and installation charges. Add expenditure incurred for trial run, which is material, wages and overheads. Rupees are in lakhs, so addition of this is 0.750. Add cost of borrowing 15% of 300 lakhs for 2 months, that is 30 September 12 to 1st December 12. For 2 months, October and November, it is 7.5. Cost of machine is 383.065 lakhs. As per para 19 and para 20 of A16, capitalization of borrowing cost should cease when substantially all the activities necessary to prepare the qualifying asset for its intended use or sale are complete. Similarly, an asset is normally ready for its intended use or sale when its physical construction or production is complete, even though routine administrative work might still continue. So the asset is ready for intended use or sale when its physical construction and production is complete, even though routine administrative work might still continue, that is, it will take some time to complete. Hence, capitalization of borrowing cost at 15% on rupees 300 lakhs for 5 months, amounting to rupees 18.75 lakhs, should be treated as an expense, that is, accounting treatment for expenses incurred in the interval between the dates 1st December 12 to 1st May 13. So, for these months, interest charges are to be treated as expenses and as such should be adjusted against profit and loss statement, that is, it is to be debited to profit and loss account. Ind AS 23, Indian Accounting Standard Ind AS 23 is on borrowing cost. Objectives: borrowing cost or finance cost are the costs which are incurred in connection with borrowing of funds. Entities borrow funds for short and long term purposes. There are various costs incurred in connection with such borrowings, such as processing fees, interest cost, prepayment charges, stamp duty, etc. And AS 23 prescribes accounting for such borrowing cost. Borrowing costs that are directly attributable to the acquisition, construction, or production of a qualifying asset form part of the cost of that asset. Other borrowing costs are recognized as an expense. This is same in AS 16. Now we'll see comparison between IND AS 23 and AS 16. In AS 23, there is relaxation to the entity to avoid application of the following: borrowing costs directly attributable to the acquisition, construction, or production of a qualifying asset measured at fair value, and inventories that are manufactured or otherwise produced in large quantities on repetitive basis. That means IND AS 23 is not applicable on a qualifying asset which is measured at fair value, for example biological asset, which is, and IND AS 23 is also not applicable for inventories that are manufactured or produced in large quantities on a repetitive basis. But in case of AS 16, there is no such relaxation. It is applicable to all inventories that require substantial period of time to bring them in saleable condition. In case of IND AS 23, there is no explanation of the meaning of substantial period of time in relation to qualifying asset, whereas in case of AS 16, there is an explanation of the meaning of substantial period of time in relation to qualifying asset. It is a period of 12 months, or it can be lesser than 12 months or more than 12 months also if the facts and circumstances permit. In case of IND AS 23, interest expense is calculated using the effective interest rate method as described in IND AS 39, whereas there is no mention of effective interest rate method for calculation of interest expense in AS 16. As per AS 16, borrowing costs include interest and commitment charges on bank borrowing and other short-term and long-term borrowings, amortization of discount or premium relating to borrowing, amortization of ancillary cost incurred in connection with arrangement of borrowing. There is nowhere mention of effective interest rate method in AS 16. In AS 23, appropriateness is provided for inclusion of all borrowings of the parent and its subsidiaries at the time of computation of weighted average borrowing cost, and for each subsidiary to use weighted average of the borrowing cost applicable to its own borrowing in other circumstances. So as per Ind AS 23, in case of holding company, for calculation of weighted average borrowing cost, they are supposed to consider their own borrowings as well as borrowing of subsidiary companies. But in case of subsidiary companies, for calculation of weighted average, they are supposed to consider their own borrowings. These provisions are not there in AS 16. As per Ind AS 23, there is a disclosure requirement for the capitalization rate used to determine the amount of borrowing cost eligible for capitalization. So it is necessary to disclose capitalization rate to determine the amount of borrowing cost eligible for capitalization. But whereas in AS 16 there is no such disclosure requirement. We have seen in this particular video AS 16 and AS 23 and comparison between Ind AS 23 and AS 16. Thank you.